There it goes. Finally turned on. All right, I'll do my intro. Forgive me for I have sinned, chat. But I am a game developer for 10 years, primarily specializing in game design. My chat wanted me to watch this, see if it's real or see if it's fake. Let's just jump in. The only thing I saw was like some original 30-minute video, and it looked cool, but it didn't. I don't know. I don't think it was a very good trailer because I wasn't super enticed by it. I guess we'll just see. This is made by the same people that made the MMO, right? Forget the name of it. The Korean team. Something Desert. Black Desert Online. And is it in the same engine as Black Desert Online? Or is this a different engine? I don't know if anybody knows that. Oh, kurwa. Custom engine. Jesus, that's loud.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the first Crimson Desert Features overview video. In this series, we'll be sharing information
Go full screen. What are we doing?
about several gameplay features and providing a look into what you can expect when you step into the world of Crimson Desert.
Yeah. What can I expect?
Today, we'll cover our main protagonist Cliff and his story, as well as the open world where your journey will take place.
It looks a bit generic. Cliff.
This is the continent of Pywell, a seamless open world filled with natural beauty.
A pretty good render distance. It's kind of hard to see, but they even animated the low LODs. I don't know if these are cards back here that they're using, but they animated them.
Filled with natural beauty. Here you'll find both vast wilderness stretching as far as the eye can see,
Volumetric clouds
and
too.
bustling cities inhabited by residents from all walks of life. As you explore, you may also come across ancient ruins and more just waiting to be discovered. But for all its beauty, danger lurks in all corners.
Not obvious at all.
Rival factions clash.
Wait, was
in
that fire?
fierce
Well, hold on. Was that light coming from him though? I can see why they're just doing it, but it's a little like you're just shining the light directly in their eyes, and they're like, "Huh?"
Rival factions clash in deadly conflicts. Hostile forces roam the lands. And high above, in the realm known as the Abyss, a growing mystical
Nice
imbalance
foliage.
threatens to push the world toward chaos. This is where you step in.
Okay.
Here,
Ooh,
take these wings.
can I take something else?
It's time to return.
You will play as Cliff, a formidable warrior of the Greymanes, a faction hailing from the region of Payloon. Renowned for their commitment to peace, the Greymanes have long fought for their homeland's unity and protected the innocent. To Cliff, his fellow Greymanes are family in all but name, and he has fought with them side by side, determined to preserve unity in their lands.
I mean, you can see where they have cut the budget. You know, I'm just trying to pay attention, and this is not an insult to the game, right? But rather, the way to make a game with so many awesome features is to very, very carefully and granularly just choose where you're going to spend your money and where you're just gonna, just let the player's imagination fill in the blanks. You can see that with like this girl here eating the
In all
bread.
but name, and he has fought with them side by side,
Well, I think it was before.
determined to preserve unity in all but innocent.
You know, it's like,
Cliff.
yeah, you could animate her mouth more and show a little chunk of the bread coming out, but this is, that would be something that Rockstar money would really be able to afford.
His fellow Greymanes are family in all but name.
Most
and
players
he has
aren't gonna
fought
give a
with
shit
them
that she doesn't
side
do
by
that.
side, determined to preserve unity in their lands.
It's very smart, very efficient.
But we first join
She was
Cliff in
sniffing
the
it?
days after.
I mean,
that
bread
peace
does
is
smell good.
shattered.
Jian has fallen. And with the great leader's death, our land, Peilun, once unified, has been plunged into chaos. And now, a bloody battle unfolds between the Greymanes, who fight to uphold his will, and the Black Bear forces that seek to set it aflame.
Good
Your
camera work
journey
on that.
begins with reuniting the surviving Greymanes to rebuild the faction and reclaim your homeland.
Black Bear bastards swore up and down you were dead. Ross!
But as you venture farther, the clearer it will become that the fate of more than just the Greymanes is in your hands. Forces of greed and malice wreak havoc across the continent, while a far greater threat emerges. The gazes of dark forces are fixed on the Abyss, a mysterious...
I mean, they have some really good looking visual effects, especially volumetric effects. It was weird though because their fire looks pretty low
The
quality.
gazes of dark forces
comparatively.
are fixed on the Abyss, a mysterious realm that holds power beyond imagination. And in doing so, drives the balance of this unknown world and the continent below ever deeper into chaos. Fragments of the Abyss
But yeah,
are
like, these are just
falling into the
cutscenes. They're
lands
cool
below
cutscenes.
and lie scattered across Pywell. Defeating those that seek to use these remnants and restoring the Abyss's broken balance will be an important part of your journey.
I mean, if the story is good, I don't really mind some things that are low quality. Like I said, you just gotta spend money efficiently.
The Abyss holds what the world itself will contain. Which is why they plot to open the gate.
What's behind it?
Pure power, raw and untamed.
The moment it is claimed by a single hand, ruin is sure to follow.
If we fail to do so, countless lives will be lost. We can't do this alone. Naira, gather all of the Greymanes.
Consider it done.
Kick fuckers! They're all fucking dead!
I mean, these cutscenes look awesome. I'm having a hard time figuring out exactly what the story beats could be for this kind of thing.
The story of Crimson Desert centers on Cliff,
This way.
I should have just shut the fuck
How's
up.
the situation?
but as his tale unfolds, two new playable characters will come to join your journey.
Okay.
As these characters become available, you will be able to freely explore Pywell and undertake many quests outside the main story with them.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
Each character has their own combat style, as well as unique skills and weapons, allowing you to experience the world and its battles in different ways.
Really nice camera work.
Pywell is made up of
And
five
yeah, it's just like all the visual effects are really, really well done. Very volumetric, and you have a lot of care put into the visual fidelity of them. It's definitely not VFX slop, as you get with a lot of games where it's just like over brightened, too many particles flying everywhere. You can read what's going on very easy in the scene.
Pywell is made
Yeah,
up
it's-
of
it's
5
debris, but not too
regions,
much.
each holding stories to be told and discoveries waiting to be found.
Want it to be another Dragon's Dogma 2? Having played that game, I know what you mean. I mean, can we appreciate just like the visual style differences between a lot of these regions? It's really, really nice.
Discoveries waiting to be found.
Pyloon. This is not UE5. You know, my only hope, and this is just something that's personal to me, I don't think it's something that every player is going to agree with. I hope that they have a lot of like world building to make the different towns feel different and have different focuses and quests, so that I can just, I don't know. It's nice to have static, you know, background idle chatter that you hear from random NPCs, but I really like when each of these towns feels like it's living and breathing. And to me, static NPCs standing on the side of a road with, you know, moving their mouth and not making any sounds, it's a little bit too old school. But from a visual standpoint, they've really nailed this. I mean, the steampunk kind of feel to this one, really cool. Name drop.
The main questline follows Cliff's journey through the central story, but questing in Pywell goes far beyond following a single path. The continent is full of other tales, interesting encounters, and hidden challenges that all shape your adventure, and you're free to take them on in any order you choose.
Wow. Faction information. So we get factions here, and we can see on the screen 2 different factions. One of them is like highlighted in red, so I think this, or actually no, there's 2 separate factions here. There's one with this icon and one with this icon, and they are both labeled as, or they seem to be labeled as enemies. There's undiscovered locations here. Some caves, a little camp or something. Interesting. And we can see the UI here. We see House Celeste and 2 resources of some kind. Map, Greymane, Journal, Skills, Others, All Quests, Environment, Factions. Okay, that's kind of weird though that you have like map. It's broken up into quests, environment, factions, and skills. I wonder if those are like different visual modes, and they highlight different information. We haven't really seen if you have like an inventory, like what the itemization is like yet. Ubisoft game design? I don't know if this is specifically Ubisoft game design. I mean, you could have heard about these locations from books or from NPCs. I don't know yet. It's not enough to know yet. They're just filters. Most games have such. Well, I know we say that. But I'm curious what a skills filter means to a map. That's what I'm curious about, or like what the environment filter shows. So it's less about whether or not we've seen this in other games, but what these 2 tabs mean in relation to the map. Like maybe there are some places you can only traverse with certain skills, or maybe this is showing skills that you obtain there because maybe progression is driven by skills, less so itemization or combat difficulty. So I don't know.
Many of Pywell's quests revolve around the factions, houses, and organizations
Oh.
of Pywell.
Oh shit.
Some of these quests are grand, with large-scale objectives like reclaiming fortresses and taking on formidable foes.
Okay, I mean, cool. What do the factions mean to this game? Like, can I choose a faction? Are there good and evil factions, or like factions that I'm and antagonized with versus ones that I'm friendly with? What do the factions mean here? Another play video and they did, you can observe bosses while fighting them and copy their skills and abilities to get more powerful. There's also little souls thingies around the world to collect. Okay, so maybe it shows like that, where you can observe different enemies to learn skills. Marketing keywords. Yeah, I mean, you will hear a lot of marketing keywords. It's easy to say factions, but you know, factions in games can mean, oh, there's the cops and the robbers. Look, we have different factions versus, you know, you can choose the, original Stalker. You can align with factions, become hated by some, blah, 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 blah. Like, I just want to know what they mean here. Probably points where you upgrade skills. Maybe. It's weird, though, that they would have a specific filter to show that. And it wouldn't be like you can filter out icons. So.
Do you know how to drive a wagon? Would you take the reins and get me to the trading post?
While others are quieter, requiring you to help
Red Dead
residents
Redemption
with
2.
everyday tasks.
I will tell you, though, if you're going to copy any game's open world random events, Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best games to copy. And to take inspiration from.
From the outset, some factions will be friendly and may give you missions.
The Bleed Bandits are raising an army of their own.
I just need to learn to shut the fuck up,
And worse
I guess.
still, they've stolen the family spear manual. My son Graham went to reclaim it, but he's gone silent. With the rest of my men serving the Duke, I find myself in need of your aid.
Others, however, are hostile forces who are residing in or occupying the area.
Yeah, you can see, like, there's actually two here. It shows House Celeste and it's owned by House Celeste, but it's blockaded. I think I'm covering it up. Blockaded by the Wolf Trackers. I wonder if these change over the course of gameplay, and so they might start in one state. I'd be curious to see if NPCs can liberate this without your help, or if you need to help. You know, Preston Garvey comes out of nowhere and, you know, ass blasts you with another settlement needs your help kind of line.
Roothold, originally under the jurisdiction of House Celeste, is currently blockaded, under siege by the invading forces of Gwen Kraber. The area will be liberated once Gwen Kraber and Kraber's soldiers are defeated.
It seems kind of like action-y in the sense of you have like clear garbage units, you know, the fodder that you just kind of smack through pretty easily, and then you have maybe some more advanced units that can block, and you know you need to perform some more skills to it. So I guess it's trying to reinforce that you have this power fantasy. From what I see, yeah, it's very action adventure, not RPG. I would say that's a good way to put it. Same old AI that's waiting to die and is not fighting. Well, we'll see, because I'm thinking that there's specifically fodder enemies like this, like you're playing Shadow of Mordor or something, or Shadow of War. But then you have the more advanced units. So this is fodder character. You can do a little bit of. These are your bosses or your captains or whatever. I would like to see unedited boss
Roothold
games
is
later.
now back under the control of its rightful faction.
Okay, hold on. Interesting too, they show temperature too. If you look in the bottom left, day number, time, weather, and temperature. I think I'm covering that up again, but you can see that here. So some of those things are weird to show if they weren't useful at all. They might just be done for immersive purposes, but I'm curious what weather and temperature. Yeah, like, does clothing matter, or maybe you need to find shelter or something? I don't know.
Roothold is now
Faction quest: Chain of the Elder Tree, defeat Gwen Kraber. Hernandian contribution XP, level up to level 1.
under the control of its rightful faction, House Celeste.
Interesting. You think it's like a rinse and repeat
Enemy
type of
forces have
gameplay loop?
withdrawn, and the region will now be safe to travel. In other liberated locations, the homes of rightful residents may be restored.
Okay, okay. My question though for all this, and you'll have to forgive me for being skeptical. I'm not a hater. What does that mean? Right? Are they about to tell me what that means to the region if I liberate it, apart from just getting like a faction thing?
Rewards for faction quests will be helpful in your character progression, from meeting new merchants to receiving equipment for your journey and gaining access to resources like lumber, stone, and other materials you'll need to rebuild the Greymane's home.
Okay, so that's kind of the progression loop: is liberate area, make things safer, get access to new NPCs, usually vendors, which boosts your itemization, giving you access to new items and stuff. So you don't get that as drops from enemies, but you get that as completion rewards. And then you can get other rewards from that, like some building materials to rebuild the Greymanes. If what I'm understanding is correct. One of the videos of the guys who got an in-house 3-hour playtest said there are a lot of fodder enemies, however you don't level up your character, you just collect better gear and get better skills. Okay, so it's exactly what I was thinking, yeah. Different biomes aren't level locked, you can go in early, but going in too early can definitely cause you to be excessively weak. Even to the fodders there. Said a bad thing about it is that towards endgame going to the beginning, it's too easy. I mean, I think that's more just an outcome of a power fantasy type game. You know, if you have that whole area of the world that you can explore at any point, they can't design the game to have your cake and eat it too, where you can go anywhere and do anything, but also the world doesn't level up to you. And they would then have to design it so that completionists doing all side content would never feel a lack of challenge. But unfortunately, most players aren't completionists. It is under 5% of players are completionists. And you have to design it around the average player, and the average player does not do a lot of side content. So if you're a completionist, you will have that scenario where you will end up being overleveled and overpowered.
In Pywell, exploration is more than travel.
Baba Yaga?
It's discovery. Whether it's
That's
finding
cool.
undiscovered
That's
points
cool.
of
Is this
more than travel.
I mean, is this emergent, right? Do they just show me this tree house and this is something that I can do to get up there with the skills and items that I've obtained? Or was this, you need to climb this tree to get up there kind of thing?
It's discovery. Whether it's finding undiscovered points of interest,
Treasure maps? I love treasure maps.
hidden treasures,
I love treasure maps.
or simply a vantage point to take in the view.
It's covered
There
in the
is much that
playtest?
will draw
Send me a
your
link, Yarmagander.
curiosity to wander.
Give me a link. Yeah, so this is something that we talk a lot about with relation to game design, is that exploration is meaningless without discovery. Discovery is the reward for exploration. And there's a lot of games that you would have this sort of like, I don't know, little basement, and there'd be nothing down there. Or what would be down here would be like, I don't know, some generic material that you can collect anywhere else in the world, right? That's not discovery. That's not interesting. You've just wasted a whole bunch of developer time to model and place and optimize this if you aren't using prefabs, which you'd probably be using prefabs anyway. But you would be wasting time to develop this just to have some boring bullshit resources. But if you're telling me that I can find a treasure map that's unique, or maybe a unique weapon, or something that is only down here, or is very rarely found, yeah, I'm more into that then. Because then I have
Curiosity to wander.
You know, what's down here waiting for me? Is there a secret lever? A book? I'm into it.
With sights, secrets, and surprises along the way catching your attention, and no strict
Although we didn't
path,
see what's in the chest, so
you can
could be
pretty
generic
much
resource.
go anywhere that captures your interest.
see that mountain? You can climb it. Five gold coins.
A trusty steed provides reliable travel, but Cliff himself can climb and even glide across distances.
Okay. What worries me about that, because I think it looks really cool, is that the more maneuverability you give the player, the less it seems to incentivize interesting level design. Where if I can just climb up or mantle something. I hope that they find a way around that. The tree seemed very promising, though. I like that. This is very pretty to look at, but flying over all the cool details and landmarks kind of gets...
Further into your journey, you'll also gain access to a missile-firing mech. And a dragon that will allow you to soar high above the world.
Reminds me, I'm not going to spoil the name of it, because it would be spoiling some of the... Jesus Christ. That's a lot of information to drop in like 10 seconds. This reminds me of a manga that I read, or a light novel specifically, where it's like a very kind of down to earth, medium level fantasy story. But he uses I'd be spoiling it, but there's a mech in it later, and it's just fucking wild. It's pretty cool. You've seen enough. It's slop. Who's going to design locations? I mean, I gotta see. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna flop because it has too much, but rather I think what it risks is being too many things that none of them feel super amazing. I don't think it's gonna flop though, but more of a sense of if I can fly over everything, if they don't make things interesting enough for me to walk around on the ground and explore, it feels like it's two worlds colliding. Like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to walk around and explore this granular, detailed environment on foot, or do you want me to fly over all of it?
Into your journey, you'll also gain access to a missile-firing
This is visually amazing.
and a dragon that
It's
will allow
awesome.
you to soar high
This
above
is so
the world.
fucking cool. But let's use this as an example. How many ways do I have to get to this location? Maybe it is only flying. Maybe that's the point, and I think that's cool. I think that's great that you have locations that you can only get to via certain means of travel. I like that a lot.
On your journey, you will meet a wide variety of the continent's
I love the
inhabitants
colors.
as part of everyday life in Pywell. Amongst them, hostile factions and enemies each present their own threats, from well-trained soldiers and sorcerers to ferocious beasts and machines that will test your combat skill and adaptability.
How many enemy varieties
And
do
for
they have in
those
this
seeking
game?
a different kind of challenge, Pywell holds many mysteries.
Ooh, platforming
From
gameplay?
ancient mechanisms hidden in forgotten ruins
Puzzles?
to enigmatic puzzles, each rewarding
I love
keen
puzzles.
observation and problem solving.
Hey, they just spoiled this puzzle though. I hope that they
Now,
are actually
let's
difficult
go
though.
over just some of the things you can discover out in the world. The Abyss is a mysterious realm brimming with secrets and untold power. Its influence stretches far beyond its own borders, spilling into the lands of Pywell. Fragments have fallen to the world below, and
Oh no, wait. That's the same thing, dude. This is bringing back horrible trauma from Dragon Age Inquisition and Dragon's Dogma 2. No, please, do not do little fragments that are glinting that I have to find, please. Oh no. Why do you do it? Why do you do the MMO design?
lands of Pywell. Fragments have fallen to the world below and lie scattered across the
I
continent.
don't want no.
And discovering these remnants will be an important part of your journey.
Okay. Okay, checkbox world design.
You'll come across artifacts, powerful items necessary to unlock and upgrade your skills. Artifacts can be earned through quests and combat, while others lie in more hidden corners of the world, waiting for those willing to stray from the beaten path. Traces of the abyss.
Yeah,
you
like it's cool. Like I think the progression sounds fun, but I guess I really have to see. It's so much. It's so detailed. I don't think you can show all this off well in a trailer. Because I want to know, how often are you wanting me to get distracted? What are the gameplay percentages to this? I mean, it either risks being one of the greatest 500-hour journeys ever made, or one of the most unfocused 500-hour journeys ever made. There's so much I'm scared it'll be too much detail, not enough attention. That's a good way to put it. This proves it's a checklist game. It feels kind of like that. I don't think what they're showing is bad though, but rather, you know, it's a game with like everything. So it's almost, am I doing these highly detailed, well animated, crazy cutscene quests? Is that what you want me to focus on? Or do you want me to go off and get distracted? Like, how much depth and detail is there to this world? How close together are points of interest? How many points of interest are there? Not that I think they should be aiming for a number, but rather, you know, even in this like screenshot, what do we see here? We have obviously this point of interest here, but we have one here, something back here, something here. Some of these are a lot further off than others. You know, how many of these can we actually get to? I'm probably missing some of these, so you'll have to forgive me. Something kind of looks like it's there. If there's a lot of empty space, then it's almost like it's reinforcing this, you know, mount up and fly over all of it mentality. But I feel like that kind of juxtaposes the go walk around on foot and do things on foot in an immersive third-person way. I don't know. I have to. It's something that you have to feel. I think it's one of those things you have to feel. Supposedly 80 square kilometers compared to 40 for Skyrim, 75 for Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2 had a massive map. Progression of what player, or just moving from one point to another? How's the character development looking like? Player interactions? Well, we know it's not an RPG. So it's all driven by unique items and skills and then upgrades to both of those, it feels like. But not in the sense that you're collecting crafting materials, at least as far as I can see, and crafting new weapons or looking for the right, you know, buff type on a piece of armor.
Discover will open up fast travel locations, making it easier to revisit and explore the areas of Pywell you've discovered.
Yeah, it's an action adventure game,
In time,
not an RPG
your
game.
search will inevitably take you to the abyss itself.
Though there are overlaps.
Venturing
both,
into
of
its
course,
mysterious realms will
case.
put your wits to the test as you uncover its secrets and restore the abyss's broken balance. Across Pywell lie valuable equipment and items, some tucked away in hidden corners, others guarded fiercely within enemy camps, forts, and strongholds.
The thing is, they keep saying this. They keep saying, like, here's... And this is not the itemization video. I think one of the other videos is, in fairness, like... Yeah, like combat and progression, right? So we haven't gotten there yet. So keep in mind, I'm just watching these in order of 1, 2, 3. They keep saying, like, these things that we have to upgrade, these weapons that we can find, but I don't know what that means to me. Because if generic sword can defeat everything out there, why do I need to upgrade that?
Many of the items
You know, what does it
uncover may offer powerful and helpful advantages in combat and exploration.
Okay.
Even the smaller items you collect along the way can prove unexpectedly useful, benefiting those who search every path and face every challenge.
What's in the chest, and can I break that with anything else, or is that only a break with bow and arrow kind of thing? You're hoping it's like Ghost of Tsushima?
The world of Pywell is rich with knowledge waiting to be uncovered, from knowledge
We got
about its
gators?
inhabitants and wildlife to skills, items, and more. This information can
Yeah,
be
the tessellation
acquired in
looked nice
many
on the walls.
ways, by interacting with characters and objects, exploring new areas, and even observing from afar. Information can be acquired in many ways, by interacting with characters and objects, exploring new areas, and even observing from afar.
Interesting. So you observed him to learn how to fish. I imagine that this happens pretty early in the game.
The knowledge you gather may provide clues to completing quests, open paths to acquiring
Yeah, there's a lot
new
of
skills,
tessellation.
or offer helpful guidance. That's all for
You
today's
can see the tessellation on this rock. Look at it. I mean, to be fair, I think that this is a really, really bad rock resolution. Like, this is absolutely horrendous. They've just like taken this really low resolution texture and just, yeah, ramped up tessellation to 11. It's kind of weird too, because they have such high quality textures in other places, but some of these are really low quality.
That's all for today's look at the story and world of Crimson Desert. In the future, we'll be highlighting combat,
Cool shader.
progression, and life in Pywell, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.
I mean, people will mod the game anyway, right? So it's like, am I gonna cry about low resolution textures? Not really. Go play Elden Ring next time and look at the quality of those textures. And that's still one of the most peak games ever made. Okay, okay. I'm not gonna say too much about this yet because I want to watch the other two videos. Let's just jump into those ones. They stated they're open to community modding. Fuck yeah. Nice. Good to hear.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Crimson Desert Features
PC and
overview
PS5,
video.
I believe.
Last time we took a closer look at Pywell, its characters, the stories within, and open world exploration.
Okay.
Today, we'll be shifting our attention to another important aspect of the game, combat and progression.
Oh, it's all consoles too, except for Switch.
Combat in Crimson Desert is visceral, and the battlefield is yours to shape.
Show me, don't
You
tell
will
me.
grow your arsenal of skills, weapons, and equipment, and it'll be up to you how you use them. Whether it's an aggressive offense, precisely timed defense, or even
There's a
using
bear.
your mount and the environment to your advantage.
Oh shit.
Combat in Pywell is full of possibility.
I feel like they were pretty heavily inspired by Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor with some of this.
Wield a wide array of weapons from sword and shield, spears, great swords, axes, and various ranged weapons. Each weapon has its own advantages, so
Holy
switch
shit,
back
pile
and
driver?
forth to the ones that best fit your style and the situation you're in. Powerful weapon skills can be paired with hard-hitting, bare-handed hits and kicks, as well as a wide range of grapples to create seamless chains of attacks.
Okay, so is it gonna be like combo gameplay or it's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell like what it's gonna feel like. I'd love to see gameplay of the combat without the you know, the HUD hidden. Hits player from back and then goes, oops, I gotta walk away and do nothing for 10 seconds. Yeah, I mean, well, name me one game that does group-based attacking like that, where it's not just like 1, 2, or maybe 3 things attacking you at once.
Elemental enhancements
You're meant to
further
win the game.
expand your options by empowering key abilities, allowing you to burn, freeze, and stun enemies. So combine weapons and chain skills.
Yeah,
the way
really
you
good
want
work on the
and
VFX
forge your
team.
own approach to combat.
You could tell the clarity was a key focus with all the visual effects that they make.
Your mobility and timing are also a big factor in combat. Slides, dodges, counters, and swings flow directly into attacks, keeping you mobile and relentless.
Pretty wild. Nice physics on
Well-timed
that.
guards and dodges open up enemies for a counter, letting you strike back and keeping up the pressure. The result is combat that feels grounded, yet explosive and endlessly expressive.
I'm really curious, like, how much of this do you have access to? What's the build variety look like? Like, you know, can I make this bare fist monk style character, or, you know, make one where I do go in like Spider-Man style? Is this, you know, they talked about like the skills that you can find and the weapons you can find. Like, how much of your movement, your mobility, and your options in combat are defined by that? You know, if they're trying to build around that and just saying, yeah, you can do crazy shit. This is like the Path of Exile of action games, where you can just mix and match these upgrades and skills that you find to find your preferred build. I'm into that. I mean, that's really expensive to do, but it looks like that might be what they're trying to do. You said earlier said it's big on combos, and one of the main feedback from 3 years ago was the controller keybinds were claustrophobic, and they have claimed they fixed it since. Okay, yeah, I could imagine something like that would be horrible on. I mean, I think that Neo did a really good job where you have like specific combos or buttons, and then you map different actions to them, but you wouldn't have access to all of them at once. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if I'll probably play this on keyboard and mouse. I'm not sure yet.
Of course, the skills you've just seen won't all be available from the start.
Depends on what feels better to play.
If you've seen some of our previous gameplay videos, Cliff is usually shown at a much greater height of his power,
Yeah.
wielding a wide range of devastating skills. But when you awaken in the aftermath of the Black Bear's assault at the start of your journey, you start from scratch with a more limited set of abilities and equipment.
Yes, make me weak. Regression.
A core part of your journey in Pywell is the transformation from a survivor into a truly formidable Greymane.
Damn,
and
I can
you
be
decide
trans?
how that progression takes place.
Oh.
As we mentioned in our previous features video,
Or a deer.
you will acquire artifacts.
There's buffalo too. I wonder what you can do with these, if they're just like there for looking at, if you can kill them, if they drop anything. I mean, they mentioned there was crafting, but I don't know if there's like, do I collect leather so I can build something with leather back at the Greymane camp or whatever?
Fragments of the abyss that have fallen to the world below through quests,
Hunting is
combat,
massive.
and exploration.
Okay.
They lie at the end of many trials in the possession of powerful bosses
The big boy.
and hidden across Pywell, including up in the abyss. Acquiring these
How did he
artifacts,
know that was there? It didn't even appear till I got close.
including up in the abyss. Acquiring these artifacts will be crucial to your progression, as they enable you to increase core stats like health and stamina, unlock new skills for more skill chaining potential, and enhance existing ones, thereby increasing your combat and exploration capabilities. Some skills and upgrades cannot be obtained through artifacts alone and must be observed firsthand out in the world.
Interesting. So hold on, because they had established that this bluish thing is, you can learn this, right? And then they show. They showed here, so it's like, can you learn this by watching him do this body slam?
You may be the type to want to upgrade your stamina quickly to run
I really just gotta shut the fuck up and just let the video play sometimes. I really need to.
and glide
Sorry.
around the world longer
Sorry.
to explore. Or you may want to unlock and upgrade all the diverse grappling skills to continuously slam enemies into the ground.
It's pretty cool. How many skills are there then? How many abilities?
Decide which skills you want to combine and unleash during combat, and choose the direction of your progression by considering your playstyle.
Interesting. That sounds really cool. It's a really cool method of progression that we don't see very often.
While learning and mastering your skills is important to winning battles, the equipment you bring to the
Wrestling.
battlefield can be just as crucial.
They haven't said a number.
As you travel
well,
across Pywell.
Look, I'm always of the belief that numbers don't matter here, but I think numbers can matter in the sense of this is a game, it's like Path of Exile, right? Where it's like, well, okay, so you don't learn skills via the passive tree, right? You learn them from skill gems. So just out of curiosity, because this is a game where you have that high amount of build variety that you're stating, it would be nice to just have a rough number, even if it's not final yet, to just give me an idea of how many different ways I could build my character. Though I think that they're doing a better job of showing that rather than telling it. Show me they've shown a good variety of gameplay where it's like grappling, slicing, high maneuverability, blah, 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 blah. And they say you can mix and match these. I'll take them at their word for that you can just mix and match these styles the way you want. And yeah, it seems like there's a lot of build variety. Yeah, they've shown that.
Well, you can buy,
there's quite a lot of
find,
variety to
and
it.
craft the gear that gives you the edge in combat.
So you can craft.
The mighty blade tests the heart of its master.
Shut up, Rhett.
Your
Purchase
equipment
bolt
can
and
be
hammer.
upgraded for higher stats.
With one hammer swing.
Material.
Enhancement complete. Attack 10 to attack 12. Holy shit, it's like a whole new game. Okay. And there's like refinement levels you can see here. Like it looks like there's like 10 levels or something to refinement. That probably boosts up minimum these two things, but maybe these two, because why else would they show them there? So
Materials for upgrading your weapons, armor, and equipment can be found in a wide range of ways.
Al-Kharid
Mining
Mine.
And hunting. Defeating powerful bosses. Through quests and by uncovering them in hidden locations.
Look at the specular maps going hard here. Okay, so yeah, in those chests you can find the upgrade material. So it is kind of a generic upgrade material finding. Okay.
You will also be able to customize equipment with extra stats and special effects.
Ooh, she's pretty. Destruction 2, attack 2, selected abyss gear. Abyss gear that can be equipped in a gear socket to gain a range of effects. So, okay, so there's like passives or ways to augment maybe whatever this. Attack speed level 1. Interesting.
Mix and match these across your weapons and armor, and experiment to discover what combinations work best for you in the battlefield and out in the world. All of that preparation leads to your greatest tests.
Oh!
Across the continent
Is he friendly? Wait, is he friendly? Can I get a friendly?
of Pywell, fearsome
Oh, he's
bosses
not.
rule, waiting for your challenge.
He was cute though. I like spiders.
They come in many forms: human and beast, steel and sorcery, brute force and mystery.
What the hell?
They'll test your limits in different ways. At the end of these hard-fought encounters, special rewards await. Some equipment earned from bosses can even grant access to their signature abilities.
This is like the Red Dead 2 of action games. Because to me, Red Dead 2 is way more of an immersive sim than it is an action game.
Or grant unique effects and bonuses. So build on the strength you gain through each victory. Take down these threats of Pywell and prove yourself a true Greymane.
For Battleborn, but
That
okay.
brings us to the end of this features overview video. We hope you look forward to Crimson Desert's combat and your progression journey as you explore and fight across Pywell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next
Okay,
and final
man.
features overview video.
Maybe there'll be two dudes kissing at some point in this game. And half the internet will rebel. The MMA, just like go full wrestling mode is really fucking funny. Damn, spin to win. Okay, one more video. One more video. Life in Pywell. So maybe this will be some of like the life sim elements or something.
Welcome to the last Crimson Desert Features overview
The
video.
last one.
Pywell isn't just a continent of battles and exploration. It's a world where many of the smaller moments also shape your journey and make up your day-to-day life. In our final video of this feature series, we'll be taking a broader look at life in Pywell.
Yeah, it's really pretty. I hope that this video will show some depth to it though, because I think that this is great for world building, but if my entire adventure here is just hearing idle background chatter and running through, you know, it's kind of like a lot of effort for, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll be taking a broader look at life in Pywell. Your journey will be anchored by the Greymane Camp, a stretch of land in Hernan that serves as the faction's new base after Payloon is lost to the Black Bears.
Grab them! Find them all!
Its beginnings may be humble, but over time, you'll be able to expand the camp with funds and resources that you acquire on your travels.
Okay, hold on.
To expand the camp with
Trading Center. Packaged timbers. Crate containing camp timbers. I believe the item is currently being traded at the trading post. Can be checked on the map. Okay, so there's wagon cargo hold. So these are this is the cargo that he brought in the wagon. Purchase price status. He buys packed guns, packed sugar, packed cheese at like bonus value. Okay, so there's like literally like trading commodities that you can carry between areas. I wonder how useful that will be though, because you know, I don't know if
funds.
They haven't really established whether or not money is going to be easy or hard to get here. This BDO trading system, yeah, it's all done through commodities. Level designers that worked on WoW after Flight was introduced kept saying one thing: it's impossible to create anything. Players can just fly past it. This is why I'm not a big fan of like flight and gliding in games. Well, there's tons of life scaling stuff for content outside of the quest.
And resources that you...
Oh, hold on. There was like a price change week 5. So I bet there's some way to manage that on like one of the menus to see what thing is increasing in price. And maybe as you sell more of it, it decreases in price then.
That you acquire on your travels. With these upgrades, the camp will become more than just a place to rest. Here, you can prepare for the camp will become more than just...
Jesus Christ. Okay. It's now Sims.
The place to rest. Here, you can prepare for the journeys ahead. Prepare meals at camp that will keep up your health.
Should be interactions with people
It's
at camp
about time
though.
you got hungry.
Or purchase provisions from the camp vendor.
Okay, so these are just health restoration stuff. Stamina restoration.
You can also go a step further and produce the resources needed for cooking and crafting yourself.
Wait, did he take
Step
that from the
further
stock?
And produce the resources
that
needed
looks
for
nice.
cooking and crafting yourself by working the camp's ranch and farm. A helpful option when
Oh, I can pick up a hog? Holy, can I throw the hog? Can I throw it off not that I want to. Theoretically, if a player wanted to throw it off a cliff, could they throw it off a cliff? Can I attach it to the wagon and drag it behind my wagon?
resources are in short supply.
Holy Jesus. This is, you know, when you're trying to like, this is like the average firefighter experience when he's trying to save somebody from America.
So this is all now, eh?
The camp is also the foothold for rebuilding the Greymane
up, Brain Pepper?
faction. And building it is the starting point in the journey to reclaiming the Greymane's lost homeland of Payloon.
This really feels like if Asians wanted to make an Red Dead Redemption like style game, but make it more about like action and fantasy, and less realistic. You know, gotta be expensive. The game has to be expensive to have made. All these systems are meant to be monetized later. God, I hope not. I really hope not. You ever own pigs? I've never owned a pig. I've never owned bacon. The game is hype as hell, but I think they're trying to do too many things. I would say that a lot of people probably said the same thing about Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm gonna be honest.
The comrades you reunite with along your journey will come here to regroup.
If
while
nobody's
others will
played,
hear news
I'm sorry, I have to pause again, but if nobody's played Red Dead Redemption 2, you are missing out on one of the most detailed games where even if you're a developer, you play that and you wonder how the fuck they had enough time and money to put so much attention to detail and mini games into that. It is absolutely wild what that game achieves. And this kind of gives me the same vibes.
The camp and arrive of their own accord. These Greymanes can take on several roles. They can be dispatched to locations across Pywell where missions can be found.
Mission list. Faction summary, stronghold summary. So you can bring them into your camp and then send them on missions. Do what? Building Marnie's statue. Total reward 1k, whatever the fucks. Requires 120 stone, 40 lumber, 40 food, maybe that is? Grain? 2 days, 6 hours, 4 to 6 people required. I wonder what that gives me beyond a reward. Like, okay, a statue is built here. Are there any of these missions that might open up something new? You know, maybe this opens up a new quest or something? You know, what does this lead to? This almost gives me the feelings, if you've ever played Dragon Age Inquisition, you know the war table? And that opened up a lot of cool stuff. I think Dragon Age Inquisition, for all of its faults in its world design and MMO style like mission progression, they had some really, really good ideas there. And I think the war table was a great idea for Inquisition.
Having your comrades complete.
Oh, look, they have, okay, so they have different skills to them too. So like Baldur has like level 3 fishing, you have like level 3 ranching or something in Ashton. It's weird though, because sometimes they have like the same icon. You know, yeah, so this really, really, really reminds me of Inquisition. And not in a bad way, but I know people will be upset that this takes like real time, right? Because this is 2 days, 6 hours. I assume that you could like sleep through that. But this is still time. I don't mind this. I like when there's like some background progression in games, but I think that some people will try to skip this.
These missions will grant you with currency
There'll be
and
a mod for it.
resources such as wood and ore and materials required for cooking and alchemy.
It's got stages? Can I sit there and
Greymanes
watch
can
it?
also be dispatched to blockaded locations and help to whittle down enemy ranks even while you're in other parts of Pywell.
Oh, you could kind of, hold on. You could kind of see that.
Also be dispatched to blockaded locations.
Look down
and
here.
help to whittle down enemy ranks even while you're in
You can see that there's like fighting going on here and some fighting going on here too.
other parts of Pywell.
They skip then to 28% and it looks like all the fighting is gone from here. Kind of. Nice detail. How are they pulling this
Your
off?
journey will inevitably take you to the villages, towns, and cities of Pywell's various regions.
Look, I've been saying it for a long time to look at how Asian games get made because they are really, really efficient. They are very, very good at understanding game production. I would not be surprised if the budget for this game is actually smaller than what many of us think that it would be. And there is some element of misuse of people. I'm not going to deny that. That is absolutely a reality in a lot of these countries. But that doesn't change the fact that in order to make a game this size, you need to have a really solid foundation of technology and a really good understanding of core architecture. And that's something that, you can't just brute force. But there is absolutely crunch and
Here, shops and vendors
poorly
offer
paid
everything
labor.
from daily provisions to a range of equipment and materials.
Okay, so you can kind of see, this like
Daily
comparison
provisions
in
To a
itemization.
range of equipment.
Entwined red thread hammer, lower attack than the Grey Wolf sword, but it is 2 refinements lower. 4% additional damage to abyss creature. So I guess this is something that you can like apply onto the sword. I don't know if you can remove these or change these. Probably.
And materials. A blacksmith can forge a new weapon to replace the one you've carried since Hernan,
Yeah, like some runes or something.
while a
yeah.
tailor ensures you're properly outfitted for the journeys ahead.
Oh, your wardrobe tells your story.
Calm down, Lola. Oh my god, I can get a... What's his name? The Davy Crockett hat. Jesus Christ. It's not exactly Davy Crockett hat.
But commerce is only one part of life.
I'll do the same for you someday.
This is for you.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Like buying off of the shelf instead of the NPC buy menu. This is like it's like pure Red Dead Redemption 2. Roadkill hat. Dude, they have so much tessellation in this game though. It's wild.
There are residents here who are in need of someone to hear their.
You can just clearly see like this is all tessellated down here.
There are
You can see the tessellation down here because of the smearing textures. So what tessellation is a way to basically create a visual. It extrudes geometry based on a separate map. And so it's not like the mesh itself has that much detail, but it's being rendered with that detail. I'm not explaining it very well. Maybe somebody who's a bit more knowledgeable with that. Yeah, it's like you're creating fake depth. It's like a normal map on steroids. "3D geometry from a texture." Yeah. But the underlying mesh is probably just a flat plane in this case.
residents here who are in need of someone to hear their requests. Some may need protection from bandits. Others may ask you to deliver goods.
Yeah, it's illusory depth, right? So this, all the things here you can see, like these little rocks, these are likely tessellated. I mean, it's really boosted to hell too. There's so much tessellation in this game, it's crazy. You know, you'll have like some, some rocks and meshes separate. So there's likely some, like this is probably a separate mesh here and is not tessellated. But these, the rocks that you can see here, is tessellated.
Are in need of someone to
This is all tessellated down here for the most part.
hear their requests. Some may
Rocks you have here, these are separate meshes, but then you'll have tessellation in between that from the ground. That's how they're keeping FPS high without blowing out the budget. Yeah, I would think so too. And you won't notice very high... You'll notice issues with tessellation. Tessellation is not a perfect solution, but it is a cheap and acceptable solution for most players. That, again, this is why I say, look at how efficient a lot of these Asian games are with their budget.
need protection from bandits.
It's not cheap.
Others may ask you to deliver goods.
But in a lot of cases, it can be cheaper than doing separate draw
or
calls.
help track down
and
a
everything.
missing person. These stories unfold alongside the region's larger tales,
If they don't have good
offering a
instancing
glimpse
technology
into the
like some other
everyday
engines.
lives of those who live in Pywell. Spend a little time in these locations and soak in the atmosphere. Meet residents, both good and bad.
You just stole money?
Catch whispers of rumors from the locals, or engage in lighter diversions along the
God.
way.
Now we're talking. Now we're fucking talking. I can pickpocket strangers. I can play mini games. I can get in fights. Yeah, this is where the immersive sim comes out. This is the immersive sim.
Whispers of rumors from the locals, or engage in lighter diversions along the way.
I wonder if you can cheat. Yeah, you're right. You can't have collisions. You're
Just
right.
be mindful of the law.
You say that. Well, I mean, this is not a collision necessarily, but they are grabbing the
Just be mindful
the
of
geometry data to draw this. Still, I mean, it's good use. It's good use.
the law. Harmful actions
Yeah, it's not
can
virtual
turn
geometry, it's
residents
not
and
nanite.
guards hostile, making travel more difficult as you're forced to fight your way through, pay fines, or even serve time in jail. Beyond the towns and cities,
Can I,
you'll
like,
also
see the
encounter people and come
carnival?
upon locations that draw you into new adventures. Like a town hidden away, home to some unusual residents.
I don't think.
Epstein's Island?
Let's move them.
Or locations that, whether through mechanical or mystical means, require fixing. So take in life
What the fuck? Like some puzzle?
or mystical means require fixing. So take in life apart from the battles and wilderness of Pywell and explore its towns,
Was
cities,
Epstein big on
and
Tesla?
beyond.
I don't know Epstein's position on tessellation. We didn't get the
They
chance
can
to ask
provide
him.
resources,
'Cause he's
new
totally
stories, or even just moments of levity in your journey. Cooking will be one of your essential
dead.
activities.
Of course it will be. Because what
Food
isn't?
can replenish or temporarily strengthen your health, spirit, and stamina, giving you the edge in exploration or battle.
Can you imagine how long it took for this game to get prototyped? I don't even want to think about it.
Along your travels, you'll find bonfires and cooking recipes that allow you to prepare hearty meals. Fishing and hunting will provide the ingredients these recipes require.
Prototype is BDO. I don't know how much of this was in BDO.
While items like flowers and insects can be used in alchemy to brew medicines that enhance your combat capabilities. Other activities, like mining and gathering, will also yield materials for crafting and upgrading your equipment. You can also craft more advanced and specialized tools with valuable resources you uncover on your journey.
He's learning from reading the book. This is something I implemented in Cauldron Chronicles.
Crafting and upgrading your equipment.
But is it learning like a
You
recipe?
can also craft more advanced and specialized tools
Yeah. Beginner's Guide to Sword Crafting. That's pretty cool.
with valuable resources you uncover on your journey.
They're doing a lot with their knowledge system that I was doing with Cauldron Chronicles too. Glad to see it.
Shaping your daily life in Pywell also extends to customizing your character.
Yeah, to be fair, you're right. It is like using a recipe. I guess Cauldron Chronicles was a little bit more implemented because the words you read were actually accurate to what the knowledge you learned was. You're right. You're right. Oh my God! I can be a liberal. Wow.
At camp, you
What a
can
game.
adjust hairstyles and tattoos, as well as your outfits using dyes. A wide variety of dyes can be discovered
Billie
throughout
Eilish?
the world or
It's
brewed through
really-
alchemy. So
cool.
experiment with the different...
You know what I kind of wish, though? And I don't know if this is part of it, but if any of you played Dragon Age Inquisition, they had a really cool feature where you would find different material properties, or materials with different properties around the world, and you could craft gear using different materials, and those materials influenced the properties of the crafted gear that you got. So using like a lighter material, you know, one that maybe specializes in protecting against magic, would change how that crafted, you know, armor looked and provide you with that effect. And also, yeah, they have a mech. They have a mech.
color combinations available.
I do hope the story is interesting. Yeah, I really hope so too. Because, like, what's the point in spending so much time with the world if the story and characters suck ass? Oh.
And that wraps up the Crimson Desert Features Overview series. We've explored Pywell and its stories and characters, the combat and progression, and the activities that make up life in Crimson Desert. We hope that this series has given you a better understanding of the game. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you. Giving you a better understanding of the game. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in Pywell.
Because of course there's horse racing. Oh, of course. Yeah. Any more mini games? Oh, okay. One more. Jesus.
PlayStation.
Okay, hold on. Let's watch the video you sent me from your Raptor.
I've played 3 hours of Crimson Desert
How did you get to play 3 hours? Where's my 3-hour gameplay demo?
in total since the reveal, and I got to try some pretty cool things that I've not shared with anyone yet. Like, I was pretty surprised to see that there's a way to fully zoom in and explore the world in first person.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They didn't show that off. What are they doing for the combat then, or maybe for only? Dude, there's no way they made different animations for everything in first person. There's no fucking way. There's no way. There's no way. This has to be just for like exploration or something.
You cannot use your weapons then, but still, it's a pretty neat.
Okay. Like usual, I should just click play and the answer's there. I was gonna say, dude, if they had actually done all of this and made separate first-person animations.
Feature. I also love how you can pet your horse while riding it. It will just chill out for a moment. I really hope that's possible with the other mounts, like the Raptor as well. Like, while playing this game, it becomes really clear that creativity will be rewarded. So Crimson Desert totally looks like your traditional open-world experience. Very early on, we should be able to...
Oh, oops, I clicked a weird thing. You can see that, yeah, you can see that they're struggling with like LODs and rendering distance. You can see
very
that.
early so Crimson Desert totally looks like your
you can see that pull in here.
traditional open.
I think, you know, some people are going to have an issue with that. I don't really mind. It's just one of those things that you have to trade off. I mean, this could have been done on the PlayStation 5 too, because I didn't see a lot of this in PC. Yeah, it doesn't bother me either. It doesn't bother me either. But if people are curious, if you don't know a lot about like Unreal Engine 5 Nanite, that is one of the things that fixes, is you can have pretty much near infinite rendering distance of nanite meshes without that pop-in. But of course, that's something that I don't think any other engines currently implement.
Creativity will be rewarded. So Crimson Desert totally looks like your traditional open world experience. Very early
You're right,
on,
it does
we
require
should be
very
able
different
to
modeling
fully
practice.
explore
Very,
this
very
enormous map. This is what the physical collector's
And it's not
edition
free.
map looks like. And during my play sessions, I could also get a grasp of
Yeah,
the
I don't care about
scale, and
popping
the
either,
draw
unless it's like
distance is
horrible.
really impressive. And since my play session, we've seen many of the side activities we can expect. There are countless mini games, resource gathering. You can help the townfolk in need. Like, there are many side quests. You can also also build up your home base. Again, it's familiar stuff, but Crimson Desert seems to have a lot of it. What does set the game apart though from what I played is the amount of tools it gives you to use in the sandbox, like the spider web. One thing I did during my play session is launch my...
Did we see that?
Use in the sandbox, like the spider web.
Spider web? What does that do?
One thing I did during my play session is launch myself in the air with this spinning move, then use the crow wings to glide, and then shoot an enemy in the head with the bow. But you can also use it to pull yourself to a wall and start climbing, as we should be able to climb most surfaces as long as you have stamina. But you can also grab a wall and then launch yourself over it to surprise enemies with a body slam or pull.
Jesus Christ. I mean, what happens if you like use that on an object that isn't, you know, static? Okay, who's balancing this? I think they don't really give a fuck. I mean, if I were balancing this game, I wouldn't give a shit. Like, I would try to make encounters difficult, but rather like, hey, just here's the tools. Break the game. Yeah, a lot of it seems very emergent. Like, here's your task. Take down this enemy base. Well, how do you want me to do it? Well, I don't give a fuck, just do it.
A tree back and do the same. You can use it to break your fall, grab an enemy off their mount to use it against them. Probably one of the coolest
you can
uses.
grab things.
So while this web is required to take out the giant stoneback crab boss by launching yourself onto her back to deal damage, it also opens up a ton of other possibilities.
Well, okay, he said it was required, right? Hold on, what do you say?
Uses. So while this web is required to take out
It says required, but it doesn't look like it is. I mean, maybe this is a way to teach you how to use it, but it kind of
use it against them. Probably one of the coolest uses. So while this web is required
it kind of looks like you just climb up there? Or find some other way up there? I don't know.
To take out the giant stoneback crab boss by launching yourself onto her back to deal damage, it also opens up a ton of other possibilities.
I mean, sometimes breaking the game is part of the fun,
but
right?
it gets especially crazy when you combine the
like a
different
Divinity
moves. I
Original
could
Sin
also
1.
toy around with the magical jump that you can activate multiple times depending on your spirit.
Yeah, like you could use that
jump,
jump I would think, to get
up,
on that.
so it's great for exploration.
Crab's
But also
back.
here, it has many uses in combat as well, to ignore enemy attacks and then counter them with yours, which feels very satisfying. Or you can use it in an offensive way. Your abilities change depending on the current element you have equipped. So if you use fire in combination with the jump, you blast enemies away with an explosion. Switch.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so you can make like a really high like vertical mobility character.
Fire in combination with the jump, you blast enemies away with an explosion. Switch to ice and then the jump freezes enemies that get hit. But I found thunder even better, as this shocks enemies, dealing damage while also stunning them. But the element you have equipped impacts way more of your abilities and also your arrows, with shock arrows being very strong as well. We know about 5 elements so far. We also see wind here, but we've...
Oh, yeah, look at that. So he's saying that the weapon impacts it a lot more than anything else. Interesting. How's it as fun as you get nuke launcher to fight peasants? Okay, first 100 nukes can be fun, but then your brain clicks, you're nuking peasants. There is no excitement, no fun. Where difficulty comes in. Yeah, you don't want to be overpowered, and I think that there is a risk to that, but there's a risk to that in any game that has a de-leveled world. I mean, you could ask people, what do you prefer? A world like Elder Scrolls that levels up with you, or one that doesn't, like Witcher 3? And I think a lot of people would tell you the latter. Unfortunately, or like Elden Ring. But unfortunately, when you have that, you inherently are going to become overpowered at some point. Inherently. Like, that's just part of the design. It's part of the trade-off of designing a game like that. And that's part of the power fantasy, too, is you're trying to make people feel strong. You want them to find a place that's a bit tough to them and come back later, and for it to be easier. Discusses power curve later. Okay, I'll click the thing and I'll shut the fuck up. Okay.
Not seen that in action yet. And in an earlier demo I played, I could use explosive arrows that were very strong. So it does seem that next to the elemental arrows, there are other types of arrows to equip and use, including an artillery shot that drops down a barrage of arrows on the
Oh,
target.
that's cool.
And these tools are on top of the depth of the regular combat. There are obviously combos that you can chain. For example, a regular heavy attack combo with the two-handed axe would send an enemy flying after 3 hits. But if you start that combo with a light attack, you can actually get an extra hit in before you send the enemy away. And all these other weapons I could try had fun combos as well. There are spears, hammers, two-handed swords, your regular shield and sword combo, and dual wielding swords is possible too, which looked very strong in the recent gameplay. You can switch between these weapons in your weapon wheel, but what I learned is that you can also do this unique move that lets you instantly swap to a new weapon mid-combo, which was very handy and also looked very cool. A big change they made from when I first
skill
played the
ceiling.
game to my most recent session at Gamescom is that regular attacks do not consume stamina anymore, only special combat abilities do. So previously you had to constantly micromanage your stamina as you also use it to evade enemy attacks, but now you can simply focus on regular attacks while your stamina builds up again in the background, so you can use that for other moves. And yeah, you've likely seen Cliff do some wrestling moves like the neck breaker. Now these cost stamina too. I in particular had a lot of fun with the throw, which you can use to grab and throw enemies off high places. But yeah, one big
Interesting. I mean, it kind of looks like there's 2 stamina bars almost, where it's like there's an outer one. I'm trying to focus on it. There's like one that recharges very fast, and then one in the middle that charges very slow. So I think it's kind of encouraging you to still have careful management of that without overuse, but you can overuse and overexert yourself a little bit, and then that will recharge as you manage it more carefully. You don't think it's anything more than that? I mean, I was watching it. There's
neck breaker. Now these cost
100%.
and yeah,
There
you've
are
likely
2
seen
separate.
Cliff do some wrestling moves.
Like, see that? There's like this outer one.
Like the neck breaker. Now these cost stamina too.
Now this one, it's gone, and you have this one here.
Particular had a lot of fun with the throw, which you can use to
But
grab.
like, look at how fast this
throw
one
enemies
is
off high
recharging.
places. But yeah, one big takeaway.
It's like near instant recharge on that. It's very, very fast. So I don't know really how it's working precisely, but it looks like it goes down and around, and then it drains the center. Yeah, it looks like there's multiple phases of the stamina.
One big takeaway after playing is totally
I get it
that
though.
stamina
I
is
think I
going
like
to be
it.
important. So upgrading that with the Abyss artifacts that you get from missions,
It allows you to
from exploring
overexert
the
yourself
world, and
sometimes.
from bosses will be very important. And overall, one of the most impressive things about Crimson Desert is that it all feels like the tip of the iceberg. We now also recently learned that by analyzing NPCs and enemies, you can learn their moves. So you also have to pay attention during combat to be able to steal those attacks. And then I'm still only talking about Cliff here. We learned that by following the main story, you will also get access to Damien, the fast rapier-wielding lady, who also has some sick acrobatic moves and use a pistol and rival. And also Unka will be
Damien's a weird name for a female. It's not very
as a playable
androgynous.
character if you follow the main story. He's more of a brute with two-handed weapons and an arm cannon. I feel that only having Cliff would have already been enough to keep the combat interesting, but the developers went above and beyond and added the 2 extra playable characters that we can use in the open world and for many of the side activities. So yes.
Yeah, I guess my question is like, how much do these 2 characters change things? Is the lady the only one that can equip a bow? I don't know. They haven't really explained that yet, whether or not there are like weapons that are tied to certain characters.
Crimson Desert looks very promising. It has all the ingredients to become a super special game, but there were still a few things I witnessed during my play sessions that could hold it back from becoming truly exceptional.
Okay.
Now don't get angry, like I know there are some people that don't want to hear anything negative about this game,
right.
but I do think it's
They'll
good
call you
to
a
talk
hater
about
the
these
moment you say
things so
one
you can
thing.
get a more realistic expectation when going into it. And it's totally possible that some of the things I mention here are already addressed in the final version of the game. The End of My Gamescom 2015 demo had a boss fight that was sadly not very fun, because the enemy was extremely aggressive and would send me flying around the battlefield.
Yeah, like
so how the
Stunlock you.
Crimson Desert boss fights often work is that the enemy is weak against some sort of move. So it can totally be that because I was thrown into this like mission that was halfway through the game that I did not know how to counter him. So in my experience,
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Yeah, because they're going to want to show off something that looks really cool, but then they're shoving you against an enemy that you haven't actually tutorialized to learn how to fight. So it could have just been a bad demo that they were shoving you up against something that you weren't prepared to fight. That's probably the case.
was very hard to react. Now at one point I did figure out a sort of cheese tactic. The spin attack from the X would stun lock him in place so I could easily take care of him. There is a mechanic where when he's down you pick up one of these pillars and smack him to deal a ton of damage. That's a really cool mechanic, but apart from that the boss fight was not that great. Some small annoyances were that looting enemies has Cliff kneel down and collect the items, which just takes a lot of unnecessary time and totally takes you out of the flow of the game.
There'll be a mod for that, but I agree.
So I hope we have the option to just immediately loot bodies with a simple press of the button. Large scale fights where you are battling alongside an army can also get confusing, especially when it's yellow soldiers.
Yeah, and you know, it's one thing to think when you're watching this is that are any of these things that he's mentioned game breaking? Absolutely not. Like, very easy to fix. Well, Red Dead 2 did have a long looting animation too, though I don't feel as if you had to loot very often, so it just depends on how often you have to do it. If it's rare, I'm okay with an animation. If it's required to do quite often and there's a long animation on everything, I'm just going to get a mod to turn that off if they don't add that. You looted everyone? Me too. You can't tell me not to loot everyone.
Alongside an army can also get confusing, especially when it's yellow soldiers fighting brown-red soldiers. Enemies had no health bar or red marker above them, so sometimes it was hard to know which enemy you had to attack and who was on your side. You might have also heard about the controls. Again, there are many possibilities in this game, but that did mean that the controller mapping would be very overwhelming. Now this is something that should have already been addressed since that August play session.
Again, next time you play Red Dead Redemption 2, just appreciate how incredibly well mapped the controls are on a controller for that game. In fact, it is like a million times easier to play Red Dead Redemption 2 on a controller than on a keyboard and mouse. They have some genius 3Cs designers at Rockstar. Honestly, genius 3Cs designers.
With potential ways to remap controls as well. So we should hear more about that very soon, and we also learned that you will be able to turn off those particle effects, which especially during boss fights could be all over the place. Now a fun fact about this boss fight is that you can reach the arena by just going through the front door, or you can shoot the window and then climb up and drop down that way, and yeah, start the fight that way. Again, I think this game will be very special because of the amount of freedom we have. And I have a feeling that the developers will be very reactive. So if we have a lot of like feedback after playing the game for ourselves, I would not be surprised if they address those things.
There'll be bugs
very quickly. I'm by the way doing a giveaway for the deluxe edition of the game. You can enter via the link in the pinned comment. And I can now confirm that I'll be attending a Crimson Desert hands-on event next week. And I'll be able to share my thoughts and gameplay in the first week of March on Wednesday. So look forward to that. Subscribe to not miss anything. Leave a like, that would really help me out. Check out my previous video by clicking on the screen, and I will speak to you soon.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was a good video from him. And if you're interested in seeing more from it, it looks like he's making a lot of videos about it and probably is going to put out some gameplay. Man, dude, I don't know. This really is looking like the Asian answer to Red Dead Redemption 2. I can tell you that. Ignore the sexual games. MILF Crimson Desire. What a game name. Yeah, this looks amazing. This really looks good. I would still like to see some people's reviews because for me, I agree with somebody in chat had said it earlier. This looks great, but if this is like another Dragon's Dogma 2 style story and character setup, I don't want to be bored out of my mind with how much it wants me to interact with characters that I have absolutely no feelings towards. You know, if you're gonna make a long game like this with so much interaction with characters and all these different quest lines, then I hope that they're at least well written enough that I care. Because otherwise it's just gonna be a slog open world game that I don't know if I would want to spend money and spend my time playing. That's my only concern, but literally my only concern. And it is selling for $70, which is still cheaper than Avowed. Wasn't Avowed $80 at launch? And didn't they want to like price Outer Worlds 2 at $80 too? Jesus Christ. But no, it looks good. It looks very interesting. You thoroughly dislike Avowed? I forgot Avowed. I played the whole thing. And it was a game. Had some good parts, had some bad parts. But most of it was just kind of, I forgot it. And moved on. But I don't think it was a trash game. Well, I can only say I am definitely interested in trying it out. I do not know yet if we are going to play it on stream because, God forbid, I have no clue how long this game even is. I have it listed here. We have no other games to play until Lego Batman. We're ahead of schedule. If we can maintain our schedule with development of Redlock, yeah, we could play this. All of it, I don't know. But at the very least, we could do some streams, and if it turns out to be one of those things that we just need to, like, I don't know, play for a few hours every Saturday or something, I can do that. I've never played Arcanum. Much to... Tim Kane is now hunting me down for never playing Arcanum, but I would like to. Expected to be 140 to 160 hours. Dude, it took us so long to finish KCD 2. I don't know. I'd love to play it on stream just to talk about it, but at the same time, if it's going to be that long, I just don't know if I can do it. I don't know. I'm going to have to err on the side of caution because we do need to develop our game. And if I take so long to play it, it would not be wise for us. Unfortunately. And I don't like to put up like a half-finished gameplay playlist on our YouTube. We'll see. This game looks crazy though. This game looks crazy. It is ambitious. It's ambitious. You know, one of the reasons why people are so trusting of Red Dead 2 is that, you know, you had confirmation that they knew how to make a game like this. And it still went above and beyond my expectations, I would say, for Red Dead 2. But it was a tough game to get into because it played so differently from Red Dead 1. Red Dead 1 was very much an action game, and Red Dead 2 is an immersive sim. Full stop, it's an immersive sim. Action second. You know, Crimson Desert to me seems to feel like a similar mix. It's trying to be this action immersive sim game, and I think that it could achieve that, and it seems like it has a lot of variety. But every gameplay loop can outstay its welcome. Every single gameplay loop can outstay its welcome. So I wonder if there's enough depth here to really make it worth playing the full game and being a completionist, or if this was one of those games where it's more about, you know, do some side content, don't do it all because you'll get bored as fuck. And that was a lot of the case with, you know, that's the case with a lot of games. You know, Blood of Dawnwalker? Yeah, I know some people working at Rebel Wolves. We'll see. Just remember, a lot of time in the industry, people who are insert AAA game developer here are actually not very good. Some of them are, some of them aren't. A lot of people that work on games, and not everybody has equal impact on the final title. Witcher 3, for instance, was very, very poorly produced. Horribly produced. And you can kind of see that with Cyberpunk 2077. So, would I want to see a game that was produced by Witcher 3 or Cyberpunk 2077 producers? Not really, but maybe 3D artists, sure, writers, I would say absolutely. No. Looking at your YouTube guy, who I forgot your name, but worked on WoW. Well, yes. Yes. Some people working on a game is just an office job. Not everyone is even a gamer. No, they're not. Now, there's a lot of people in game dev who don't like games even, or don't like the game that they're working on. But it's just like, well, it's either this or I don't have a job. Cyberpunk producer would be a great leader of financial scams. It's not my words. That game was a broken piece of shit mess, with a very boring open world structure, and shitty itemization, and a lack of emergent gameplay. Hot take. There's my feelings about Cyberpunk, and I don't think a lot of those were fixed with the 2.0 update. The game is still pretty shallow. It's definitely not a GTA competitor. Alright, but that's enough for me talking and throwing shade at other games. I can only say, I don't know. This is a developer reaction to Crimson Desert. I think it's a very ambitious game. Yes, it looks like it's all there. It just depends. How good is the gameplay loop? How much depth is there? How good is the writing and the characters? Because you can make great gameplay, but if you center it around doing quests and meeting characters and interacting with them, and it's just not very fun or interesting to do so, then, you know, you don't have much there. You really don't. Expensive cheese has stamped numbers on it. Is that thing edible, or do I rend it off? Some rinds you can eat. Like, sometimes it's just wax. Other times it is hardened, dried fat. Alcahest doesn't look bad. You can tell it's focused and it's doing really well. Well, Alcahest released a bunch of trailers that were fake gameplay, so I don't know about that. Maybe they've released some new ones that are our actual gameplay, but their initial couple trailers were entirely fake. So I don't know how I feel about Alcahest. I mean, you can eat wax too, by the way. Wax, well, it does not do anything bad for your system. It's not going to have any taste. But you can pretty easily tell if it's wax if you can, like, you know, smush it a bit. It should be pretty easy to tell. But if it's like a super hard rind, it might just be the dried fats and lipids. And that's still edible. Probably not the tastiest or the chewiest. 1348X photo demos flop spectacularly. we can look at a game like that later. I've heard about that. I don't want to get into that, but all I can say for Crimson Desert is I'm cautiously optimistic. I think that there is some good gameplay here. I just will see if the world and the discovery and the emergence and the story and the characters can actually take this from like a 7 out of 10 game to, you know, 9 or 10 out of 10. Let's see. Don't know.